Hi guys, and welcome to the Girls with Voices podcast. On this podcast, we call a spade and not the son of a shovel. My name is Sibongenko Simoyo, and I'm here with my lovely co-host Pranila, and we're joined by two very beautiful young ladies. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Well, as she said, my name is Pranila Lunga, and I'll be your co-host for today.
Hi everyone, I'm Patience Tong.
Hi everyone, my name is Kutajish Bayat, but my friends and everybody else calls me Casey.
Right, so the ladies are here with me today, and we are going to be talking about the monster that is plaguing our society, which is rape culture. Rape culture, it is so packed. Ladies, can we please get a definition on rape culture? What exactly is rape culture?
Okay.
So, rape culture, I believe, is a culture whereby victims are victimized for their own actions. Victims that are believed to have contributed to their own victimization, and they are believed to be responsible for their own sufferings. I don't know what you think, guys.
Okay, that's quite a mouthful. That's what I think. But
Okay, such a culture does exist in our real life, but it is often overlooked.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true, that's
true.
true. So, from this moment onwards, I think we can talk about how rape culture has an impact on its survivors. Like, we talk of how it has affected its survivors after the whole rape thing.
it actually has, I've realized. This is because there's the idea that I'm the one that caused the perpetrator to come onto me and rape me when it's not even my fault.
Exactly, the victim is always blamed on
Yeah.
what were you wearing, where were you,
Yes,
at what
yes.
time.
Yeah, that's true, because at times you get to say that you go to the police, or maybe you report to an elder or something, and then they ask you, what were you wearing? Were you traveling at night? Did you maybe lead him on or something like that? Because I believe these things, they exist within our society. What do you think?
I agree completely. I agree. I'm one person who's always fighting with rape apologists. I take absolutely no care for someone who would come up to me and say, oh, but what was she wearing? Was she drunk? It's not about that, because people always find something else to blame. I'm sure we've all heard these stories where someone gets raped and they're like, oh, but look at your skirt, you dressed provocatively. And I personally believe that I cannot dress provocatively. You are the one that's thinking like a rapist.
Yeah.
You are sexualizing me in your brain already. That's why you feel like I'm provoking you.
You know,
So
it's so irritating when you're walking, somebody just throws at you some funny comment. Such behaviors are the ones that actually show that this rape culture is real. People will come to you and say their things, and then they'll blame you after that, which is just so wrong.
It is very wrong, you can say that again. But this is not fair, guys. If we take a look, if us girls are raped, it's only us girls who are asked, what were you wearing? We never hear of a man of what were you wearing.
That is
yeah, the
true.
men
Yeah,
just
that's true,
get
that's true,
shamed
that's true.
for it. Like,
That is
oh, Indota mustn't be. Why is Indota?
Yeah.
Why is this happening to you? Like, they're demasculized. But I feel like it's a both lose-lose situation for both genders, because the men also have that humiliation on their part. But I feel like with girls, there's that humiliation that comes, as well as that victim blaming. And there's so much more that we deal with as girls after sexual harassment or any other form of sexual assault.
That's true, because we take a look at things like maybe the silencing function thing, whereby, like, because you have been raped, society feels that you can't go out and talk about it. You just have to be on your own, just have to be docile, just have to not talk about it, because what if that person didn't rape you? What if you provoked them? What if ABCD? What if ABCD? So I'm thinking to myself, like, society expects men to be they expect us as women to be docile and be submissive to our men. But at the same time, when these men are raped, they also expect them to be docile, not talk about it, because obviously you're a man, so you
Yeah,
can't talk
they
about
always
being
say
raped.
that.
Who will you talk to? But if you go to the police, they'll tell you, no, you're lying, you can't be raped when you're in. I don't know how you
You
can
know,
go
it's a
about
hard
that.
thing to
It's
understand.
actually toxic masculinity, whereby they believe that because I'm a man, I've got the biceps and all that, I cannot go around crying. But emotion is something real.
That's it.
It's true. If umfana engachaywa and all that, uyahamba ayokhala. Why? It's because they've been groomed to think that he can't go out there and express himself. And I think it's the one thing which makes the males do the wrong thing. Because they believe I can't speak up about it, therefore no one is going to come after me if I go after her.
Society has to be taught that culture is dynamic. We have to know that as days pass by, things change. We have to know that certain things, they shouldn't be overlooked and they shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
like
that's really
sexual
true.
violence and stuff, because I believe that society has normalized sexual violence in such a case that maybe when umuntu maybe body shame you about however you look, it now looks normal. Nobody
does.
minds it, nobody
It
says
does,
a thing.
it does.
Even to you personally, you just say, it's fine, and then just walk
But
and
guys,
go.
don't
So,
you think it's funny how Udala, right? They used to wear clothes that are
yeah,
revealing.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
say that
But
again.
there were not much rape cases. Now we do cover up. We wear our bum shorts with our
Yeah.
tights inside.
Yeah.
Yet I still get raped. I think this is a thing which they do purposefully.
Do you know what I
Ladies,
think?
I think I will
Do you know what I
get
think?
into trouble for my comment, but I'm someone who's very much in love with my culture. I'm very much in touch. During the first lockdown, I was always researching on African culture, and what I came across these queens, like the queens of Sheba, the all-women warriors that went to war.
Yeah.
And when you look at their outfits, most virgins, like they showed they were virgin by not wearing anything on top. They let their boobs, like their breasts,
Okay.
go out. Most of them would wear most outfits that were taken by the Western people and are made to be pink and bougie literally resemble African attire, the original African attire, not this African attire that was discovered after colonization. Because when colonialization happened, it happened when the people from the West came with their own standard, which was standard of dressing and things like that. And I feel like as the African community, we've somewhat sank so deep into Western beliefs to the extent where we have
Forgot.
degraded our women. Women were
Yeah.
such strong and powerful figures in the past. They were such, especially in African culture, they were very respected.
That's
Then
true.
here came colonization with its very own teaching and belief that indoctrinated our very own people to believe that the woman is
Yeah.
less than the man.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking against any religion or any sort of beliefs, but we know when we have our Christianity and our Islam that teaches women to submit to men. Before that, we had a somewhat equal society.
Yeah.
Based on the archives that I found, we had an equal society where people did what they could because they could, not because of their gender. Nothing was a gender role, but this westernization came and degraded our women, and now women get slut shamed. And as soon as you report your rape, but what were you wearing? Why? You could be wearing a very long dress. Why are you wearing that
Yeah.
long dress knowing you have curves? There's some
It
things that
doesn't make sense.
are inevitable.
Yeah, really, because I believe that this whole rape culture thing, it stems out of our own patriarchal system that we had back in the day. Yes, of course, these days it's not so, but we really had a patriarchal system whereby women were expected to be docile and listen to men, and men tells you this, and you can't, go against it. So because of that, then men thought maybe they are much more superior to women, therefore maybe taking advantage of maybe their bodies and stuff like that. But now I don't know, guys, what do you think?
Mina, well, my own point of view is that just because of my dressing, it doesn't mean that someone has
It
got
doesn't
the
give
power.
you the right.
Yeah, to come and tell me freaked up stuff. And also this thing with toxic masculinity, guys, he's a sport. Because what if my young brother is raped, then he can't come and speak up about how he feels. It's just wrong, because then he's going to go and be the same perpetrator I want to stop.
That's so true.
So
Yeah, because of the trauma and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't normalize this issue on toxic masculinity and me being at fault just because I was wearing my mini skirt. Dad bought it for me. He hasn't done anything to me when I'm wearing it. So why does he have the guts to come and do that to me? It's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It is wrong because if you check, even a school child putting on a uniform, he or she can be raped.
Exactly.
So it's not all about dressing. I feel like it's in the mind.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
all about
then-
the mind and maybe self-control as well. Because if you have that mentality to say, I see it, I want it, I get it, obviously you're gonna go and get somebody, maybe abuse someone. But if you are able to control yourself to say, no, I can't do this, this is wrong, this is so inhuman. So I believe it's all in the mind and
Yeah, ladies,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You've been spitting fire. Anyway, we will be back with more on this very interesting topic. Thank you so much.
welcome back, guys, to the Girls with Voices podcast, where we talk to different women about different issues affecting us as young women. And today we were talking about rape culture, and hey, we had a lovely time discussing this issue today. And today, before we came to the second segment, we talked about what did we talk about, guys? before?
Toxic masculinity.
Yes,
We
and
talked about how we're blaming girls' clothes and women's clothes as the reason as to why they get raped and rape apology.
Yes. And right about now, we're going to dive into another interesting issue that is taking rounds in the media, in the social media.
Okay, ladies, I'm sure we're very much all aware of the story that's trending right now, the hashtag Justice for Memory Machaya. And most people might look at it as, oh, it was a case of child marriage that went wrong. But I feel like the fact that we are sugarcoating this, as I said at the very beginning of segment 1, here we are calling a spade and not the son of a shovel.
Yeah.
And as we said in segment 1, we are going to tell the truth. We're going to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. Therefore, do you ladies think that what happened to memory was child marriage? Do you think child marriage is a thing, or this is some type of rape apology terminology that is used to normalize the abuse of young girls in the community?
It's definitely rape. She was underage, and according to our constitution, these people all belong in jail because they did something which is just wrong, not a right. They dismantled the system which was ongoing and going the right way.
Yeah.
And it was wrong. We have to do something about that. It's a wrong system.
Yeah, and the fact that she was 14?
She was 14.
14, and then already she's pregnant, and then she's in a marriage and stuff like that. So I believe this was rape and it was a child marriage, because I believe, what does our constitution say?
Our
Anybody under the age of 18 is a child. And
yes.
you cannot consent to marriage if you are under 16. So,
Okay, can I please just correct my
Yeah.
co-host here who said it was child marriage? I disagree. These are the effects of rape culture that has been implemented in our society, because a child can't get married, you guys. We can't say it's child marriage.
Yeah.
She's a victim. This was a victim of abuse. There's no way you can say child marriage, because a child cannot get married. A 14-year-old cannot get married. So I would like us to just dismantle that term and not use it, because there's no child marriage here. It's just abuse and she's a victim.
but then what do you say to the fact that this person, the perpetrator, has to say this was his wife, and at the end of the day, the family of the girl tends to get another sister of the victim to be a compensation of what happened to memory. So in my own belief,
once I heard her talking about something like that. Your ideas on the sister being used as the
Compensation.
What do you think about it? I've heard her talking about something like that, and it was just amazing.
So at the
It's
end of the
very
day,
objectifying. Like
Yeah.
this one, like your puppy died, I'm gonna give you another one. It's the type of thing where we're starting to feel like young girls are objects more than they are of people,
That
which
is
is
true.
very concerning that a family would do that to their own child.
yeah, but they are just rumors. You know those things that
Yeah,
circulate on
that's very
social
true,
media
that is
that
very
blah blah
true.
blah has just happened, the
Yeah.
sister and stuff like that. So I don't know, but in this case, if this, I'm sorry to say, man, or he raped or whatever he did to Memory Machaya, do you really think this person was married to her, or it was just one of those cases where she is maybe sent to the man to live as a wife, or maybe he's just taking advantage of her because she's a member of a particular church or something like that? Because if we are to say it was a marriage, then obviously we have to come up with solutions as people, as individuals, on how to curb
I feel
that
like
particular.
that term marriage is just put there as a way to sugarcoat the situation.
So it was.
We don't want to openly. To me, marriage, yes, marriage can be done through, traditionally can be
It's
done through
something
amalobolo, it
which
can
two
be
people
done
can
in go,
consent
but
to.
you cannot be married to a child.
Yeah.
Someone whose age you can add up 3 times and still doesn't add up to your age. You cannot be married to a child unless that person is 30 and you're 86, then okay, she has the mental capabilities to say, I want to be with this person. She's not easily manipulated into certain things. Therefore, I do not believe you can say a child got married. We can't
Yeah.
say that in their marriage, it was not a marriage. She was given to this man and she is a victim. That marriage term is this rape culture terminology that is being used, as I said again, to normalize what is going on here, to normalize
that's true.
the vile perpetuating cycle that is going on in some of our communities.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
true. That's true.
So, I think since we've already mentioned how much this is bad, we can now start talking about how we can make it something which is change the situation, change what's happening, dismantle the wrong regime which they're doing, the wrong things they're doing. And I think we have to come up with ideas on how to do that. Because if we don't, it's going to go on and we're going to keep on talking with no solution.
Okay, personally, I think education will be the key. We should educate this. Apostle said that a child is a child, and a child shouldn't be forced to go to a marriage setup. But we're just saying marriage, we are just sugarcoating the thing. It wasn't really marriage. And if we take a look at it, Memory Machaya was forced to drop out of school. This is a sensitive topic, a sensitive issue. I believe she wasn't ready for marriage.
Yeah, that is true.
So education will be the key, especially those from
Yeah,
that religion.
Yeah, especially maybe the elder women in that very same religion, to say, you mustn't give out your children because maybe you feel like you are poor, or maybe you need money, or maybe your religion has blinded you to some extent that you believe that maybe giving the child out to a certain old man would maybe make you rich, or maybe make you look like you do respect your religious beliefs. So I don't know, maybe education, like educating especially the people who push that particular religion, because oh my God, this is not so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
it is.
normalize.
Yes, as you have talked about education, we also have to include the government, because alone we cannot win this issue.
Yes.
The government has to do something, because if we remember so well, I think that guy, I'm not so sure, the man that was married to Memory Machaya, gallivanted for so many weeks without anything that was done on
Or
him.
said,
So I feel like stiff
Measures have to
measures.
be taken.
Yes.
Okay, that is true.
And there's a very common and repetitive cycle that we have in community where we only start making noise about something once it happens. I don't think we would have involved the cases of child marriage here if Memory hadn't died. So I feel like in order for us to, she spoke about how we can end this rape culture. I feel like we have to make constant noise and just not noise when something happens, because it happens in every situation. Even on the Black Lives Matter, black people in America were being abused, but they only spoke up after the
Because
death of
something
George
happened.
Floyd. Exactly.
That is
So I
true.
feel like it's what's happening here. So I feel like in order for us to be able to tackle and end this rape culture for good, we have to speak about these things on a daily
Yes,
basis until
yeah.
they cease to exist.
But wait
Because
for
Memory
someone.
was pregnant this whole time and no one said anything. There's many other girls that have been being given away at very young ages, and some of them probably did die, but we probably just didn't
Yeah,
hear
that
about
is
it.
true.
So I feel like we should be talking, we should educate society, we should educate people about the problems that these young girls face in
Yeah.
order for us to be able to completely tackle this rape culture.
Yeah, that is true,
that's
because I'm sure this is actually not the first time.
There are many
It's
cases,
probably
yes, that
has
have maybe.
happened. Even the old grandmothers that are in the same church, they probably were married off. I like to think of it as exploited when they were still children, because it's not marriage. It's not at all.
So we believe that maybe the education has to start within the community as we move to the religion, to the religious sector, because if those women are married at an early ages, 11, 12, 13,
They'll think it's a thing.
It's a norm.
part of
yeah,
life.
it's a norm, but it is not. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like if I grew up in a very vulgar household, I'll think that I can go to another house and be vulgar because it's normal. But I think we also need to get to the roots and be able to reach the very people that have gone through that, so that we can, put an end to the cycle.
Yeah, like policing the crazy ideas around our community, whereby I cannot wear like this because there's men in the house. It's one of the
Yes.
things which we really have to look at.
Yes, right. Thank you so much, ladies, and thank you to everyone that tuned in today. This podcast has been very enlightening. I've learned a lot and I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll be able to attain a society that does not have any rape apologists in it, because it's the 21st century and we will not be accommodating any form of rape culture, any form of terminology that supports rape culture, and any form of victim blaming. Thank you so much and please have a lovely day.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Shh.